All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Joe Dillon from Ace Equity Pros. Today, we're going to be going over the marketing part of the Podio system. This incredible Podio system. We're going to be going over three apps. One is going to be the DM Lists app. After that, we're going to go into the Campaign Planner, and then we're going to dig into DM Campaigns, and I'll explain all three. So, starting from the top, right? You have to have lists that you're mailing out to your homeowners. You're going to put all of your lists and you're going to aggregate them here, list by list, however you want to split them up. How we like to split them up, we actually like to get very granular with our data, right? So we like to split it up by zip code, by list, okay? And then even by occupancy, right? So absentee, owner occupied, TLO absentee, for example. All right, so let's just say we're adding a list here. Right now we have 171 lists. Let's say we're adding a list, test list number 1. There are 1,000 people in this list. Okay, disregard this for now. That's something that you guys won't be using at the moment. Touch 1, right? This will be how many times you've mailed this list. So every time you mail them, make sure to come back here and click the next touch, right? This is an automatically calculated field right here. These are total leads, total interested leads, total accepted offers, total transaction numbers or contracts, whatever you want to put here, right? So these are automatically calculated, and we'll go into that later. After the status, this is what status the list is in. So if you're actively mailing them, hopefully, ideally, all of your lists will stay in the active status. Now, if your list is not performing, right, then you can rest for 60 days, mail them again, rest for 90 days, mail them again, rest for a year, and then if they're still not performing, you just stop mailing them altogether. This is a little tip that we got from Craig Simpson, who's a direct mail guru. We had a few coaching sessions with him. So it's a little golden nugget there. And then your major market, if you're playing in several markets. So right now we're playing in DC Metro and Baltimore. Soon to be a lot more. But let's just say, for example, this is a DC Metro market. From there, this is a very important field right here, your default assignee. So this is who you're going to assign to this list on your team. So ideally, you're going to have several acquisition specialists, acquisition managers, home buying specialists, whatever you name them, whatever you want to call them, the people that are intaking your leads, that are taking this from leads to contracts, right? So let's just say Daryl, right? Now, the reason this is so important is because it all starts from your lists, right? So there's a lot of flows in the back end that when calls come in and leads come in to this list, right, to this campaign that are attached to this list, which I'll explain later, they will be automatically assigned to this person right here, right? Now, if you don't include anything here, it'll be blank and you won't be automatically assigned. Leads will not be automatically assigned. So that's more on that. So with regards to this, again, the same thing. Your leads in the Seller Leads app, which we'll be going over in the acquisitions video. Your Seller Leads app, as soon as leads come into the Seller Leads app, they start to populate automatically here based on your campaigns, which again we'll be going over in this video. So real quick on that, you can have many different campaigns pertaining to one list. So let's say test list 1, we mail them in January, we mail them again in February, we mail them again in March. Okay, now those are 3 different campaigns, but they're all pertaining to the same list. So this is a cumulative calculation of the total amount from all of your campaigns. Okay, and again, we'll go over that later. So this is where you include all of your information for each of your lists. Go ahead and upload that, right? So ensure to keep this updated because the campaign planner is going to sum this amount. And again, we'll go into that later and I'll explain. And lastly, you can choose to add your Excel sheet here, your actual list here, if you'd like. Okay. So now that we're done with our lists, let's say we have 172 lists now. Boom. All of your lists are added to the DM Lists app. The next step is to create a campaign planner, right? So this is the app where you're going to come to plan your campaigns every single month. Okay? Let's begin. Let's say we're planning the campaign for June of 2016, right? The way we like to notate it here is we like to do a number and then the number of mail campaign that it is. So this is the sixth one that we've sent out this year. It's possible we do 2 a month, which is why it could be number 6 DM June 2016. It could also be number 7 DM June 2016 if we decide for any reason to send out 2 mailing campaigns for that month. Okay. Now this is you just have to include the number here, whatever number you use. Just include that for the back end purposes. It helps create the campaigns, and I'll show you that in a bit. Scheduled for, okay, now this is the way we do it. You can do it however you'd like, but the way we do it is we do the number of Mondays in every month. That's when they touch down. Now we use yellow letters, and with yellow letters you can schedule your mailing to be divided out to be sent out every week for a certain amount of weeks. So let's say for June, how we do it is the number of Mondays that are in the month, that's how many weeks are in that month. So the first Monday is the 6th, so we start the 6th, and we end all the way past the last Sunday of that month, of that week, right? Of the last week of that month. So this is the last week of the month, right? 27th. We go all the way through to the 3rd, and that's 4 weeks, okay? This is direct mail. We're planning. As soon as you click, I order it from Yellow Letters or whatever site you decide to use. You can click this button, ordered here. Be sure to keep that updated. Now your outbound units go. How many do you want to do a month? Over here we're doing about 30 to 40,000 a month. Let's say we're doing 30,000 this week for 4 weeks. Okay. Save. Oh, responsible. Who's responsible for this? All right, that'll be me. Look at that guy. Cool guy. All right. I like to refresh this because this is these are headers, but they don't fill in until you save it and click refresh, and I'll show you that in 1 second. See, there you go. These are headers. So they keep your Podio nice and neat. Okay. So under the direct mail section, okay, this right here, DM lists. This is where you're going to attach all of your lists that you want to mail this month. Okay, so let's just say we're mailing test list 1. We're gonna mail. Let's just say this, all of these. Okay. Okay. Now this calculation right here is gonna total up the amount of people that you're gonna be mailing that month. Now, this is an error from my VA, so clearly there's no total mail number not set here, so it's not going to include those. So this is actually a big reason why it's very important. So back in your DM list, why it's very important to keep this number updated. Your total mail number right here. Always fill this number in. Okay, and then divided amongst the weeks gives us a total of 340 mailings per that week. Right now, obviously this is typically going to be a lot higher. Just for example purposes, we're going to go ahead and leave that alone right there. And I'm going to go ahead and replace these actually with campaigns that actually have numbers. Let's say 2019 and 2020. Okay, now this is the total amount that I want to mail this month, for example. Okay, so we have 4 lists here. Now what we can do, now this is powerful, okay, this is high level stuff. You can do one of 2 things, right? Depending on how sophisticated you are with your tracking and your marketing, you can split this up into mailing groups. Now, what I mean by that is, let's say, in 2019, pink works a lot better. Okay? So you're going to mail all of 2019 this one postcard, right? Now, let's say for all your other postcards, you're kind of testing it out and testing the waters. So let's add all of these, right? Test list 1. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's add these over here. Test list 1. We got DC High Equity, Vacant Properties 2018, and we got 2020 owner occupied. Okay. All of these 3 lists, the rest of the lists, right? We're going to mail half pink postcards and half of them will be yellow. So what we do to do that, right? And this was all very creatively put together by our Podio guy. Is you put the name of your first postcard right here, your first mailing piece, space, slash, you have to put a slash there, and then you put the name of your second postcard. Does that make sense? That way you can really get creative and you can get very fluid in how you mail every month, right? Now, if you don't know, again, this is high level stuff, so unless you really know what works where, I would stick with just one mailing group. Mail your entire list, either half this and half that. But again, this is sophisticated marketing. So now we're done, right, with what we're mailing, and we know what we're mailing to what lists. So again, 2019 absentee is getting all pink postcards. These 3 lists are getting half pink postcards, half yellow postcards, V5, right? So we're going to be creating 7 different campaigns. Now that's 1 campaign here, another 3 campaigns for this postcard, and another 3 campaigns for this postcard, which is 7 campaigns total. 6 campaigns here and 1 campaign here. Now, this is really cool. This button here, create campaigns, will create all of these automatically. Okay, but you have to have them filled in. So we'll click this little handy dandy button here, create. All right, and then we're going to go to our campaigns app. Let me refresh this. Voila! Boom! Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so now you have, let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom! Beautiful. And look, we even have a view over here. So if you only want to look at, let's say your mailing campaigns that are scheduled for this month, you can click this button right here. Boom, 7. Great, fantastic. In addition to creating the campaigns, it also pulls over all of your information from your list app. So test list 1 of 1,000 people, right? It adds that in your corresponding list. Now, this is actually incorrect, but I'll make sure to have this fixed. These 2 should not be here. The corresponding list should only be test 1. So I'll actually fix this right now with my guy. And so this is how it's going to look. Okay, you're going to have the name of your campaign here, right? And the name of your campaign is going to be the name of your campaign planner, which is number 6 DM. It's going to be your list, 20,020 owner occupied postcard. And I'm sorry, 20,020 owner occupied, right? I'll show it right here. So again, it's going to be the name of your campaign planner, just the first letter right here. Then it's going to be your list, 20,020 owner occupied. And after that, it's going to be your mailing piece. So campaign planner, list, mailing piece. Boom. And that's the name of your campaign. Now, this is also really cool. So this is the one of the ones that we split in half, right? We mailed half of this list, postcard V5 pink, the other half of this list, postcard V5 yellow. It automatically split it in two, divided it in two, which is 1867 became 934. Okay, that's the total amount sent. So that's really cool. So this is automatically calculated right here. Your leads, interested leads, offers, accepted transactions. Now your seller leads app will be linked directly with your campaigns app, and then in turn the difference, in the levels here, and then in turn your campaigns app is linked to your list app. Okay. So let's say we get 3 leads, 1 interested lead here. That'll show 3 and 1 here until we have several campaigns attached to this list. All right, is that making sense? Cool. So if we have number 7 DM 20,020, let's say we mail this list again, okay? It's going to be a different campaign. Let's say we get 2 more leads. So this is instead going to say 5 leads, 3 from June, 2 from July's campaigns. Okay. So moving on. Now you're going to want to include, this is also very important, you have to have this filled out. You have to include your VUMBR number here, right? So let's say it is 202.111.1111. Okay, so we have this number here, right? This is going to come from your VUMBR app, from your VUMBR website, okay? So we use VUMBR here, right? And you might use something else. I'm not sure what you use, but I recommend switching over to VUMBR if you're going to use this Podio system. It's extremely powerful. So let me give you the example. So let's just say I'm just going to use these ones all the way at the bottom. All right, let's just say we're using this number, okay? You go to settings. This is very important. In order for your calls that come in to be automatically linked to your campaign, right? In order for your leads to be automatically linked to your campaign, you're going to want to make sure that this nickname is exactly as it appears here. Exactly letter for letter. So you want to copy, paste this here. Okay. Save. Okay, now, in addition, under settings, in order for this to work, one, you have to send it to voicemail, okay? Always send it to voicemail, so then you track how many leads are actually coming in. 2, you go into the voicemail tab, okay? You have to make sure these 2 are clicked. Send voicemail attachment to my email address, send an email when I miss a call. And then you have to go into your VUMBR app. I'm sorry, into your seller leads app. And I'll go over this again in the acquisitions video. But you're going to go into, actually it's the incoming calls app, and I'll explain that as well. So you're going to go into your incoming calls app. You're going to click this, click the wrench. You're going to click email to app. You're going to copy this link. You're going to paste it into this, send voicemail to my email. Paste it here. Okay, I already pasted it, so I'm not going to change it. That's where you put this. What that's going to do is it's going to send all of your calls through this number, right? And it's going to have this name attached to all of your leads. Now this name is going to automatically link to your campaign based on the name. And that's how it gets linked to the campaign. Okay. One, you have to make sure this number right here is there. So that's what that's for. Okay. Next, this is all automatically pulled over from your list, which is cool. And then that's it. From there, that's it. Okay. So whenever you create your mass Excel sheets to mail out, you're gonna want to make sure that this phone number attaches to this list. All right. Because of the nature of that, I typically do the campaign planner first. After I do the campaign planner, I then create the Excel sheet based on my mailing groups. Okay. So I have my whole 2019 absentee list. I go ahead and put I'm a postcard V5 pink. You know, I put whatever VUMBR number I want attached to that Excel sheet, and then I create that as well as I create this Excel sheet. Right? And then that way you look at all your available numbers. The reason I do this first and then I do the campaigns second and I go in and update these numbers second is, let me just show you. So, for example, I will look at all my available VUMBR numbers and I'll put those in my Excel sheet, right? Then I go back here and then I ensure that, then I go back here into the campaigns and I ensure that this is the number that's on my Excel sheet pertaining to this list. Okay, cool. So that's marketing in a nutshell. Again, this will all automatically populate, which is one of the most powerful things. Right? So then you can really analyze your marketing when it comes in. Now, if you want to do some quick analysis, or I'll briefly overview analysis, for example. Okay. You can analyze in campaigns and you can analyze as well in lists. The benefits to analyzing in campaigns is you can, if you're tracking different type of postcards or different colors, for example, right here, you can see which one did better, right? And you'd be surprised how much of a difference a simple color can make. Look at that. 150, 10 leads. 150, 4 leads from pink. Now, what's even crazier is different areas react differently to different colors. We found that the hood acts better, they respond better to a pink postcard, they call in more. So we get more leads from the hood when it's pink. And in better places, in nicer places, we send them yellow postcards. So you can look at all that here. You can look at your yellow versus pink, see how each one did, you know. And this is where you can do that. In your list, you can analyze the same thing. You can look at your leads, your interested leads, right? Your offers accepted, and your transactions. And you can just see how well your campaigns are doing, see how well your lists are doing. So that is marketing.